We are deep into the year at this point. This is pretty, pretty decent sample size of the action. And so for anybody who did not see it, here are the straw poll 1.0 results from ESPN. They had Joel Embiid, and this is the real headline of the takeaway is just, a very significant lead, not only heading the pack with 848 points total, 99 total votes, 63 first place votes. Second place is Mr. Nikola Jokic with 21 first place votes and a total of 630 points. So more than 200 behind.
Neither Embiid. Of them were my first place vote.
Look at you. You picking Pajemski? Is that what you're doing?
Pajemski. Wow. No, he was like I think fifth on my ballot.
No. Who'd you have, Slater?
Luka.
Yeah, I did. We'll get to that in a second because I was a little surprised by the Luka breakdown, but here's the full rundown. We go Joel Embiid, Jokic, Giannis coming in third, nearly 300 points behind Jokic. So big gaps between 1, 2, and 3. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander fourth, pretty tight between Giannis and Shai, if I'm looking at it correctly. Yes, and then also pretty tight with Luka coming in fifth at 306. Then you got a major drop off. Jason Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton. I'm not going to go through the whole list. I will finish with shout out to whoever gave Rudy Gobert a fifth place vote. He got 1 point. He is playing very well. I don't know about MVP vote here, but that's okay. Somebody in Minnesota is feeling it.
Shout out. I was going to say shout out John Hollinger.
John Hollinger.
Who's looking at the analytics.
I thought you were going to say John Krasinski.
Yeah, or Kevin Pelton, who are like looking at the analytics on what Gobert has done for that defense, and are like,
"Hey, that's a whole." I mean, Gobert's having a renaissance reputation-wise, and Draymond helped. He became a sympathetic character, getting dragged all over the floor. But that's not what we're talking about. MVP. Just thoughts on the way that looked at, because it really does actually portend most of the time what is to come when it comes to the actual MVP race.
Yeah, so I'll be honest. I participated in the poll. And I was one of the 3 first place Giannis voters. And the number one reason that I put Giannis number 1 is, sorry, Tim, I don't really put that much effort into it. I just kind of text.
Man, what a strong take. Well, thanks, Fred.
I just kind of text him a
devaluing this whole segment.
And after I sent it to him, I thought, I should have put Embiid. But whatever. I do like the Giannis argument because a lot of stuff has gone wrong there this year. A lot of stuff has gone wrong there this year.
Some of it's his fault.
Some.
He might want to play a little more pick and roll with that new point guard they got.
Yes, for real. But really, I'm talking more about defensively and in transition. And meanwhile, he's having the most efficient scoring season of his career and still averaging 30. They are in shambles from a defensive standpoint, from a defensive transition standpoint. And he is like holding that team up in their 20-7 or whatever they are. And I'm making the argument because I sent it in without thinking about it. But my goodness.
Okay.
I really do think
I don't want to hear
I really do think
it's. Here's my argument.
I'm making arguments for everyone. I know. Embiid is averaging 41 a game over his last 8 games. I was talking MVP with Zach Lowe 2 weeks ago, and we were talking about at the time how it's Jokic seems like the guy, but at some point somebody is going to average 40 a month because that's how the NBA is now. And Embiid is averaging 40 a game his last 8 games. He's just
35-1 for the year. 35-1, 11.8 rebounds, 5.9 assists. He's finding people too. Yeah, those are monster numbers.
Well, he's been better this year than he was last year.
Almost 2 blocks.
Yeah, I think he's been
agree.
better.
I agree.
Defensively, he's been way better. Defensively, he's been just at his peak the entire season. I think he should be on Defensive Player of the Year ballots if those were coming around right now. And offensively, he is, I mean, the scoring is unbelievable, but he is a better passer than he's ever been. His 2-man game with Tyrese Maxey is so different from what his 2-man game with James Harden was, where with Harden, it was like Harden's going to run pick and rolls, and they're just going to run kind of a general pick and roll game, and Harden can pocket pass it to Embiid when he's rolling, and maybe Embiid will pop and get a 3 or an open mid-range or something like that. Whereas with Maxey, they have all these different variations of dribble handoffs, and there's more activity and there's more movement, and Embiid is making those between the legs dribble handoff bounces, and it's like they have a totally different dynamic, and it is working so well. Embiid has been, it's insane. He's just eating teams alive. He's
I feel
annihilating.
this is a weird take, but I voted Giannis last year. If the season ended today, I feel much better about Embiid being MVP this season than I did last year. He was great last year, but this is, to me, right now, it is a no-brainer, and the results
No-brainer.
streak is,
No-brainer, you said.
I know, and
Man,
now I'm throwing shade at Luka.
how
Before
about
we hold on, Slater,
Kawhi Leonard during this 9-game
we're
winning
getting
streak,
we're
by the
getting to
way.
that. We're getting to Clippers.
I
Don't
don't have
worry.
much time. I can actually
Well, then you
hear
gotta
a
tell us
baby
that.
crying upstairs. So here you go.
Man, well, there's 2 babies crying. Settle down. Just kidding.
Ooh, that was actually pretty good, Sam. That's rare from you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Backhanded compliment. All right, but before I get to your no-brainer, because apparently you didn't have any brains on this one. Hey, we're hot today. I think that Embiid's the guy, and my vote that is open for scrutiny is Embiid, Luka, Jokic, Giannis, SGA. That was my 5. Slater, how did you land on Luka, who did not get enough love in this poll?
When I believe when I did it, they were like the 3 or the 4 seed in the West. Now they just got popped by the Clippers and Kawhi Leonard, who I think should make some ballots at this point, early ballots, because the Clippers have won 9 in a row. They just beat them in Dallas. But, Luka's averaging like, I think 32, 33 a game on like obviously great efficiency. He's running the show. And like the big thing to me is like, I didn't think that Dallas team was that good coming into the season. I think he's like, talk about carrying a team. I think in a lot of ways he is. Kyrie has not been very healthy. So, I mean, I think he's got a.
All right.
I mean, you put him
Good
number
breakdown.
2. So,
no, I like the Luka pick, and winning without Kyrie and doing good things. They're
SGA, you mentioned SGA. He's got a real case too. I mean, a lot of guys do. It's so early.
And he's a 2-way player, which matters to me.